Once upon a time, in a bustling forest full of chirping birds and chatty squirrels, a melody of life echoed through the air. The sun peeked through the towering trees, casting a dappled glow on the forest floor. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the gentle rustle of leaves dancing in the breeze. In this vibrant, verdant world, every day was a symphony of sounds and colors. The birds were the musicians, their songs filling the air with beautiful tunes. Squirrels with their fluffy tails and bright eyes were the playful jesters, their antics bringing laughter to the forest. This was a place where harmony ruled, where every creature, big or small, had a role to play in the grand orchestra of nature. But on this particular day, the forest's rhythm was about to change. Just as the sun was reaching its zenith, a peculiar figure emerged from the shadows. A funny-looking human, with a nose as big as a carrot and a hat that flopped down to his eyes, stepped into the forest. His entrance was as subtle as a bear in a ballet. Even the trees seemed to lean in closer, their leaves rustling with anticipation. The birds paused their songs, the squirrels halted their games, and for a moment the forest held its breath. The animals watched with wide eyes as the human clumsily stumbled over a fallen log, then picked himself up and dusted off his trousers. A collective murmur spread through the forest, a flurry of whispers rustling through the leaves. This was something new, something different. The forest, usually so full of life and laughter, was now filled with an air of intrigue. The birds resumed their songs, but the tunes were tinged with curiosity. The squirrels chattered amongst themselves, their eyes never straying from the strange visitor. The forest was buzzing with curiosity. Who was this strange visitor? The funny-looking human with his big nose and floppy hat started to explore the forest. Yes, our quirky friend has decided to take his adventure a step further, diving headfirst into the heart of the woodland, where trees tower high and animals chatter in their own unique languages. Oh, how the forest buzzed with life and curiosity. With a skip in his step, he began to interact with the forest animals in the most hilarious ways. Imagine a human trying to converse with a squirrel, or a deer, or even a wise old owl. He tried to mimic their sounds, creating a symphony of squawks, squeaks, and hoots that echoed through the forest. It was a sight to behold, our funny-looking human attempting to climb trees with the agility of a monkey. He'd scramble up a trunk only to slide back down, his floppy hat landing comically on his head. The forest animals watched, their eyes wide with a mix of amusement and confusion. A family of rabbits hopped over, their noses twitching in curiosity. The human tried to hop like them, but ended up tumbling down a small hill, landing in a heap at the bottom. The rabbits, with their fluffy tails bobbing, couldn't help but leap in circles in pure merriment. Even the birds perched high above joined in the fun. As he tried to mimic their songs, they responded with a symphony of chirps and tweets, creating a beautiful melody that filled the forest. The human in his enthusiasm sang louder, his voice bouncing off the trees and echoing through the forest. His antics brought laughter and joy to the forest, creating a ripple of happiness that touched every creature. It was a day the forest animals would remember, a day filled with laughter and silliness, all thanks to our funny-looking human friend. The forest animals couldn't help but laugh at the human's silly antics. And as the sun began to set, they all agreed that it was the most entertaining day they had ever had in their woodland home. While everyone was laughing and having fun, the funny-looking human made a surprising discovery. Out of the corner of his eye, he spotted something unusual hidden under a pile of autumn leaves. It was a chest, old and weathered, a relic from a time long past. The human crouched down to get a closer look, his curiosity piqued. The animals, sensing something exciting was about to happen, began to gather around. The birds fluttered down from their perches high in the trees. The squirrels scampered over, their bushy tails twitching with anticipation, and even the slow-moving tortoise managed to shuffle over to join the crowd. The forest fell silent as the human reached out and brushed away the leaves, revealing the chest in all its glory. It was covered in intricate carvings, a testament to the skill of the craftsman who had made it. The human ran his fingers over the carvings, feeling the smooth grooves under his fingertips. Then, with a deep breath, he lifted the heavy lid. Inside the chest was a hoard of shiny, colorful stones, each one more beautiful than the last. They sparkled and gleamed in the sunlight, casting dancing rainbows of light around the clearing. The stones were of all colors: red, blue, green, yellow, and even some colors that didn't have a name. They were like tiny galaxies, each one holding a universe of wonder. The animals gasped in awe as they took in the sight. Even the funny-looking human was speechless, his eyes wide with surprise. It was a treasure beyond their wildest dreams, a dazzling spectacle of beauty and wonder, hidden away in their very own forest. They gazed at the treasure, their hearts filled with joy and wonder. It was a moment they would remember for the rest of their lives, a moment of shared discovery and shared joy. The forest was filled with gasps of awe. What a surprising discovery! The funny-looking human with his big nose and floppy hat had an idea. He gazed at the shiny stones, their glimmer reflecting the warmth in his eyes. A thought sparked in his mind. Why not share this treasure with his new friends? After all, joy multiplies when shared, doesn't it? So he called upon his forest mates, those funny-looking birds with colorful feathers, and the animals with their furry coats and twinkling eyes. They gathered around, their curiosity piqued by the human's call. He held out his hand, the shiny stones glittering in the sun, their allure captivating every eye that beheld them. One by one, the forest creatures came forward. The birds, flapping their wings in excitement, hopped closer. The animals, their tails wagging with anticipation, trotted up to him. Each, in turn, took a shiny stone, their eyes widening with surprise and delight. The air was filled with a chorus of animal sounds and gestures, each expressing their gratitude in their unique way. The squirrel chattered its thanks, its tiny paws clutching the precious stone. The deer, with a graceful nod of its head, accepted the gift with a soft snort of appreciation. The owl, ever wise and silent, blinked its large eyes in gratitude. The birds trilled and chirped their thanks, their songs echoing through the forest like a symphony of joy. The human watched, a smile spreading across his face. The forest, his home, was filled with a sense of camaraderie and happiness that he had never seen before. He felt a warmth in his heart, a feeling of contentment that he had never experienced. He had shared his treasure, and in return he had received a treasure far greater, the love and gratitude of his forest friends. Indeed, the forest was buzzing with joy. The funny-looking human with his big nose and floppy hat had brought them a wonderful gift. The shiny stones were a treasure, yes, but the real treasure was the happiness they had brought. The forest had never been happier, and it was all thanks to the funny-looking human and his shiny stones. The forest was buzzing with joy. The funny-looking human had brought them a wonderful gift. It was time for the funny-looking human to leave the forest. Our friend, the human, with his big nose and floppy hat, stood tall and brave. His heart was heavy with goodbyes, yet light with the joy of cherished memories. He glanced around at his new friends, the forest animals, each unique in their own funny, endearing ways. With a soft smile, he began to wave his hand, bidding a fond farewell to all the lovely creatures that had become a part of his adventure. The animals, in return, waved back with their paws, wings, and tails. From the smallest ant to the largest bear, every creature showed their affection in their own special way. The birds fluttered their wings, chirping a sweet melody that echoed through the forest, a serenade for their departing friend. The squirrels, with their bushy tails, flicked them high in the air, a playful salute to the human. Even the mighty deer lowered his antlers in a respectful nod, a silent thank you for the shared treasure. The air was filled with a bittersweet symphony of goodbyes. Each wave, each flutter, each flick of a tail was a testament to the bond they had formed. Their eyes followed the human as he walked away, his figure gradually disappearing into the distance. Even as he faded from sight, the echoes of his laughter, the memories of his antics, and the warmth of his kindness remained. The forest seemed a little quieter, a little lonelier, but also a little richer, a little happier. His visit had brought them not just a treasure, but also a treasure trove of beautiful moments. The forest was filled with warm farewells. They would always remember the funny-looking human and his lovely gift. And so our story teaches us the joys of exploration, the beauty of sharing, and the importance of kindness towards all creatures. Remember, every goodbye is not an end, but simply a new beginning waiting to unfold.